Hello. I just watched a Concerned Citizens Where is the Constitution video. And of course everybody in there thinks that the police screwed up royally, and obviously they're allowed to think that. Free country, your opinion is perfectly valid as your opinion. Let me tell you what an attorney thinks. Do with it what you will. Number one, it starts off in media res. Cops are there. Cops have been called. He's sticking around. Why is that? We don't know. He was asked to leave the Paradise Grill, is what I think the name of the bar or restaurant or whatever it was. He was asked to leave in Texas and in most places. Being asked to leave a restaurant or bar is called being trespassed. You have been trespassed from the bar. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get arrested. It means that you have a choice. You can leave or you can get arrested. And leaving doesn't just mean stepping outside of the building. Leaving means leaving the premises. So, sticking around outside the premises, waiting for the cops to show up after having been drinking, from an attorney's perspective, is probably not a good idea. Attorneys would frown on that, I think. I think I could speak for most attorneys and say that, generally speaking, we frown on that kind of action, because that's going to expose you to potential criminal or civil liability. Having waited for the cops, if the cops focus on you and cluster around you and want to talk to you about inane bullshit while they talk on their walkie-talkies feverishly to somebody and are waiting for signals from somebody, that's your sign. That's your sign. You are the suspect. You're the reason why they're there. They got called out because you got told to leave. And why did you get told to leave? That's another good question. Why did you get told to leave? What kind of a disturbance were you making at the Paradise Grill that they had to trespass you? That's the problem with these things always starting in media res. We don't know what came before. But the cops are there because of something that came before. They're not there to shoot the shit with this dude. They don't like him. They don't have anything in common with him. He's so dumb that he wants to disparage them and hopes that they join in on his disparagement of them and their bosses. Like, what kind of retard is this guy? Unless he's drunk, in which case it all makes sense. Drunk people love to talk. Love to talk. Drunk people have a shitty time keeping their camera in focus. Drunk people think that they captured something on film, i.e. the car coming close to him. Like, it was... So when the cop comes back up, when the cop approaches you and says, hey, look, we've been trying to be nice. You're still here. You're still on the property. You are a danger to yourself because you're walking backwards trying to film us. You're intoxicated and you've almost been hit by cars twice. The cops were watching him. If that other car that came swooping up behind him was the issue, then the cops probably would have a discussion with him. But the cops didn't. They had a discussion with the drunk guy. As an attorney, let me just say that once an officer tells you you're under arrest, don't resist. Don't resist. There's nothing you could do. Don't argue and tell him, no, I'm not. Don't say, I wasn't doing anything. You don't have the right to arrest me. Don't do any of that bullshit. Just let him cuff you. If you're nice, he'll cuff you nice. If you're not nice, he'll put his knee into your back while he's cuffing you. And I've never had somebody's knee in my back while they're cuffing me. I've never been cuffed, thankfully. But I'm going to go ahead and surmise that having someone's knee on the back while I'm laying face down on asphalt is probably going to be pretty uncomfortable. So, and then continuing to bark orders at the cops as you're in cuffs, like, I don't know what the hell you think you got that the cops are going to do what you tell them to do. But I think that guy's a cop in front of me right now. He came swinging past me in his little, he had both of the yellow lights, the warning lights up front, flashing really fast on his grill. And then he had a thin blue line flag on the back. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, if you're talking so much that the cop has to tell you to shut up, you're doing something really horribly wrong. So moral of the story, kids. Rule number 1. This is John's rule for not getting needlessly arrested. For all the people who are thinking that that's a lawsuit, it may be a lawsuit, but if he thinks he's going to win, I don't think so. Good luck finding an attorney to take that one on contingency. So John's rules for getting into situations where you could potentially win. Number 1, don't drink and audit. If you are looking for interactions with police, don't drink before you do it. Don't take any drugs. I mean, you can see how auditing while being high is working out for Josh and Jamie, Granite State and Nomad. I mean, it's working out fabulous for those two honeymooners. Don't drink, don't do drugs if you're going to go out and audit. That's number 1. That's John's rule number 1. Number 2, if you are driving or planning on driving or in any way associated with the vehicle getting you to or from where you're auditing, make sure that shit's squared away. Make sure your blinkers work. Make sure that your license plate is lit. Make sure that your license and registration are, number 1, valid, and number 2, easily accessible. Make sure you have insurance on the vehicle. Make sure your proof of insurance is easily accessible. Don't go auditing in a vehicle that has window tinting that may be in violation of your local vehicle code. Make sure your headlights work, all that fun stuff. Don't audit with assholes. That's rule number 3, is don't audit with assholes, because they'll get you in trouble. Number 4, if someone asks you to leave, leave. It doesn't matter whether they had a right to or not. If once they tell you to leave, they've done all they need to do to stop you from being there, and you could sue on that. You don't have to wait until you get thrown in cuffs. If they tell you to leave, leave. I mean, if you want to push it, fine, but just remember, you might be chewing on gravel. Just saying. And once the officer says you are under arrest, don't resist. That's just retarded. You're being retarded if you resist at that point. And shouting, "I'm not resisting," doesn't actually mean anything. Everybody who's resisting shouts, "I'm not resisting." Your words are meaningless. You're not going to talk your way out of being in cuffs. Just relax. Just be cool. Let them do they've already, if they've stepped in it, by the time they say you're under arrest, if they've stepped in it, they've stepped in it. You know, I'm under arrest, fine. I mean, you don't have to resist. Anyway, so good luck to you, Mr. Concerned Citizens. Where is the Constitution? I strongly suspect you're not going to find an attorney to take it on a contingency basis. And I also strongly suspect that if you do fund it yourself, you're not going to win. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.